Hello everyone. I just wanted to address my upload schedule real quick. New videos will be coming out Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I hope you guys enjoy this one. Bye bye. I lived in this duplex years ago with one of my coworkers. Our place of employment hired this new guy who clearly had some issues, but seemed like he was really trying. The new guy, Sean, had been in and out of rehab and halfway houses for drug charges, but he was living in his brother's garage and picking up as many shifts at work as he could to try and earn enough money to get his own place. Winter came around and Sean was living in this unheated, uninsulated garage. My coworker/roommate talked about it and decided to invite him to stay on our couch under the condition that he stay clean and keep saving for a new place. Sean gratefully accepted, moved in, and things went well for several months. But then Sean started slipping, missing shifts at work, disappearing for days on end, all while becoming much more aggressive. Our suspicions were confirmed when one day my roommate walked in on Sean smoking meth on the living room floor. We promptly told Sean to gather his things and move out. A few weeks later, at about 1 a.m., I awake to someone pounding on the front door. I groggily get up and go answer it, and there is Sean, high as a kite and screaming. I quickly latch the outside wooden screen door and try to talk Sean into leaving before I call the police. After a few minutes without making any headway, I tell Sean I'm going to call the police and start shutting the inside door. Sean bursts through the wooden screen door like it's not even there, which knocks me backwards over the arm of the couch. I land on the seating portion of the couch on my back, and Sean is on top of me with both hands trying to choke me. I swung and hit him in the head and face as hard as I could, but he was a big guy and was so high that I didn't faze him. If anything, I tightened his grip around my throat. I quickly realized that I couldn't get him off of me, so I kind of quit struggling and resigned myself to my fate. My vision started to get blurry around my edges and sound started to get muffled. At first I felt sad that I wouldn't get to see my family again, but then I started to feel peace as I began slipping away. Finally I closed my eyes for what I thought would be the last time in my life. Suddenly, I was able to draw a huge breath and the weight of Sean's body was no longer pinning me down. I rolled off the couch gasping for air, and when I gained enough breath I looked up to see my roommate. I shit you not, beating Sean around the head with a fucking frying pan. She had heard the commotion and ran into the front room to see Sean choking me to death, so she grabbed a frying pan off the drying rack in the kitchen and started to hit him as hard as she could. We were eventually able to push Sean outside, where he sat on a bench on my porch crying until the police arrived. After the police arrived, they arrested Sean and he was charged with breaking, entering, and assault. It's safe to say, we probably won't meet again. My first semester of freshman year of college, I had been out tailgating before a football game and partying all day. I came back to the dorm rooms to find a group of friends celebrating one of their birthdays around 2 a.m. by eating mushrooms and smoking weed. We were hanging out in the room and there was a loud knock on the door. Everyone was freaking out. I was the most sober and not doing any drugs at the time. So I went to check the door and it was another guy who lived in our hall. I asked what was going on and he had a couple of people came in the room and began accusing people of stealing his weed. At this point, everyone in the room was freaking out because of mushrooms, so I got the people who had just showed up to go out in the hall and talk to me about what was going on. A couple of them left and just the original guy stayed and talked to me, and he was very angry about approximately $30 worth of weed missing from his room. He got in my face and I pushed him against the wall and told him this was done. At this point, he pushed my arm off of him and made a quick movement. I thought he had tried to punch me in the face, so I lunged forward and tried to do the same, but ended up falling to the ground. I fell on my back and noticed blood squirting everywhere and realized that he stabbed me across my neck through my cheek. At this point, he was standing over top of me with an approximately 12-inch hunting knife that he had hidden under his sweatshirt. I wasn't able to move much or talk and was just clutching my throat. He ended up running off and I was able to slide over and kick the door of one of the nearby dorm rooms. Someone came out and screamed and was able to get the others to come out and help. By this point, there was a lot of blood and that had been sprayed a few feet up on the walls in all directions and a large pool on the floor. A number of people came out and put t-shirts around my neck and called 911. I was in and out laying on the floor of the hall, but do remember people saying that 911 thought it was a prank call and they wouldn't send an ambulance until they spoke with an RA from the dorm. Next thing I know, the RA from our hall, who supplied everyone with alcohol as a side business, stumbled out of his room drunk and told us to be quiet and go back to sleep. Obviously, he didn't know what was going on. Eventually, people got a hold of another RA and 911 said an ambulance was on its way. Judging by the look of everyone around me, I 100% thought that there wasn't going to be anything else for me. I tried to tell them to gather around and what I wanted them to tell my dad and my mom, both my brothers and my sister, and I began to make peace of what was happening. The ambulance got there and I was laying on my back and remember having a similar conversation with one of the EMTs. The first thing they said to each other was to get the defibrillator ready because I was losing it. One then said to me to stay awake, and they knew I didn't want to have my parents and family bury me. Something kicked in right then and there that I will never forget, and I made damn sure to keep my eyes open and went from making peace with it to make sure it would never happen. I got a blood transfusion at the hospital and was sedated from what I can remember, but I woke up around 5 a.m. with 44 stitches across my throat and 10 across my cheek. My family was there along with some friends from college who met my parents over there after they made a 2-hour drive at 5 a.m. after receiving a call from the police/hospital the middle of the night. The doctors told me that I lost over 1/3 of my blood and that by all typical measures I should have not made it through, and that they'd never seen someone lose that much blood and live, and the knife came within 1 millimeter of hitting my cardioid artery, meaning I would have bled out instantly. I do not know why or how that happened that way, but I feel pretty lucky because of it, and it changed my outlook on life. Edit. Here's a picture of the throat scar. This is over 9 years later after having multiple laser scar correction procedures done. I got a blood transfusion at the hospital and was sedated for what I can remember, but I woke up around 4 a.m. Oh my, literally, anybody who's watching this far, this is like my fucking 90th blooper, but I'm only gonna put like 3 in the video. Oh my fuck. High as a kite and screaming, I quickly latched the outside wooden screen door and tried to talk Sean into leaving before oh my. Literally, I think that I left backwards, and I don't fucking know. I really don't. At this point, everyone in the room was freaking out because mushrooms, so I got to the people who just showed up to go in the hall and talk to them, but the original guy, $30 worth. I'm skipping sentences. Why do I fucking do this shit, man?